Okay.
Group conversation, 3 participants. Recording has started.
Recording has started. All right, and my camera is all blurry. Hold on. There we go. Okay. Is it on B231?
No. It's on A, isn't it?
A237? Number 21?
Oh, 21.
21.
Oh, it's on
C 236.
It's on B236? C236? Page break?
It's C236, but there's a page break.
Page break and page 237. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Okay, bottom of C236, page break, page 237, find number 21. It should say, open paren, b to the third, just read it really carefully, plus a b to the second minus 20b, close paren, divided by, open paren, b minus 2, close paren. So go back over it and read it again very carefully. B to the third plus AB squared minus 20B divided by B minus 2.
Mine says 8B.
8B squared? Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. It's 8B squared.
Oh.
Can we? No, it's just B. Did I say 8? 8. Sorry. 8B squared.
I'll just remember that. I wrote A.
8, not A. Sorry. 8. 8, 8, 8. Yeah. Language, huh? Auditory doesn't always translate. All right. First thing you need to do is make sure, is it in descending order? And they set it up for us correctly, didn't they? B to the third is our biggest term, AB squared, and then 20B.
Third degree polynomial.
It is a third degree polynomial. Now we notice all the terms. What's the or coefficient of each term? What's the coefficient of the b to the third? 1.
1.
What's the coefficient of the b squared? 8. What is the coefficient of the b?
Negative 21.
Negative 20. All right. And our r value on our b minus 2, it's a negative 2, and we're going to change it to what? Positive 2. It's b minus 2, so we're gonna change it to a positive 2.
I think you have to put a 0 after 20.
We do. You're right. Thank you. There's no constant, so we have to remember that it's a plus 0. Thanks, SS. They don't really talk about that, but you always want a constant, and so if you don't have a constant, you can always put a plus 0 for your constant. Right? Okay. So. Let's set this up. So on your Brailler, you're going to put a 2, or in print, you're going to put a 2, and then a 4, 5, 6, or a long bar or long division, upside down long division. Put a space. Now start putting your coefficients. So you're going to need a 1, and a space, and an 8. And a space and a negative 20, and a space and a 0. You put number signs if you'd like. This is your scratch work, so I'm okay with your own style. If you know their numbers, you don't need a number sign, then just put your drop numbers on there, right? You're not being transcribers, you're being mathematicians and problem solvers. Yeah. All right. So now you're going to scroll down. You're going to go down and over, right? A couple times. Enter twice. And make yourself a line. So you're going to draw a line in print or do a bunch of 3 6s all the way across. What's that?
Under the coefficients?
Under your coefficients. Because you want to leave a line to work on, right? 237, 21. All right. Just keep going until you get past your 0, right?
I did.
Okay. It's kind of fun.
237, number 38?
21.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Scroll now down and over. All right. All the way over. Down and over. And then you're going to want to put what are we going to want to drop down underneath the 1? The 1, yes, Song, yes. We're going to drop down the 1 underneath the 1, right? That's our first step. You bring down the first one. Yep, underneath that little line. All right. So you should have a 1 underneath the line you just made, directly underneath the 1.
B times
Please just listen for a second. All right. So you have a top line that has 2, 4, 5, 6, and then your 1, 8, negative 20, and a 0. You entered twice, down and over, entered twice, and you drew a bunch of 3 6s all the way across, or draw a line and print. And then you go down and over, and then you space over, feel up and feel where your 1 is, look up, feel where your 1 is, and down below that you bring it down. You put a 1 below that line, right? Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, take your 2, multiply it by your 1. What do we get? 2.
2.
Now go up, scroll up, and go space over underneath your 8 and put the 2. Other than an 8, put a 2, because 2 times 1 is 2, right? Now, enter down, go scroll down or enter down, and add 8 and 2 together and put a 10 underneath your 8 and 2. Got it? All right.
Yeah.
Now, take your 2 and multiply it by your 10. So your 2 up in that top left, right? 2, multiply it by your 10. What do you get?
20.
Scroll up and space over and put a 20 underneath your negative 20.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
All right, and then scroll down and backspace a little bit, right? And what is negative 20 plus 20? 0.
No.
Well, that's good. That means no remainder. And 2 times 0 is 0, right? And 0 and 0 is 0 for our final thing. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. You know, it's just 0. All right. Now, oops, my graph board's. Now we have to go back to, you're using a combination of your book and your work, right? You go back and you look at number 21, and it says b to the third plus ab squared minus 20b. So b to the third now becomes what? B squared, right? Okay, so you're going to write b squared. Just go down and over and write your answer. B squared.
Doesn't need to be lined up with anything, right?
Nope,
The
nope,
answer?
now it's just your answer. So down and over and write b to the second power.
Okay.
Bring it on down with a dot 5. Okay. This takes being really organized and okay with looking at your book and then looking at your work. It's nice to have a big workspace.
Well, now you just go into sending work.
Right, and then you know that it's b squared, isn't it? So on the original, so now it's just going to be a b, so it's going to be plus 10b. And if you wanted to, you could say plus 0. It's okay if it makes you feel comfortable to then say plus 0 for your constant. So you'd have b squared plus 10b plus 0, or just b squared plus 10b. Okay? All right. So that is the answer to b to the third plus ab squared minus 20b divided by b minus 2, and we used synthetic division. Now the trickery, and SS pointed it out, was that you have to use a plus 0 if you don't have a constant. Notice on 23, go to 23, there's a constant there. What's our constant?
4.
On 23? What's the constant? What's the constant of the dividend? No, the constant of the dividend.
3.
Dividend, the constant. So
Okay.
we have n to the third plus 2n squared minus 5n plus 12.
12.
12, Erica,
Oh.
yes.
No.
Constant is 12. Were you waving that in the air, song? 12, 12. Oh, no. All right.
Yeah.
So there was a constant there, but notice in 21 there wasn't a constant. So SS said put a 0 to save yourself just in case weird things happen. Right? Speaking of 23, let's just do it. All right, so you read again. The strategy is, and I want to reiterate in advanced mathematics, it is not about being fast. It's about being accurate and thinking, okay? So you give yourself permission to read the problem. Read it again. Make sure your fingers and your eyes recognize all that's going on, right? Because number one mistake is we copy things down wrong. Number two mistake is we miss negatives. All right, so we have n to the third. We're just reading it. You're utilizing your book, a combination of your book and your paper, your book and your brailler. N to the third plus 2n squared minus 5n plus 12. That whole quantity is divided by the quantity open paren n plus 4 close paren. So we go back and we read it again and we make sure that it's pretty. It's in descending order, right? Descending order. Does it look like it's in descending order? We've got our third degree, our second degree, one. Yep, we've got it all the way down. If it wasn't, you need to use your commutative and associative properties and do your housekeeping and clean it up so it's in descending order. We also notice that our divisor is nice and tidy. It has a 1 for a coefficient of n, so we like that. We don't have to do anything special yet. So then notice what your coefficients are of your dividend. We have a 1. What else do we have? A 2, -5, and a 12. What is your R value of your divisor? It's not 4, it is -4. So you look at the constant of your divisor and you do the opposite. What's that, Angelica?
I was just telling her what you were telling everyone.
Thank you. Way to go. All right, so our R value is -4. So you note all those things. Now you're going to go set it up. Now you're going to just take a breath. And you're going to say, I'm going to set this up really well, really good, because this is going to work. All right, so here we go. What are we going to write first?
-4.
-4. Good. So you write a -4. If you're brailing, you write a 4, 5, 6. If you're printing, you do an upside down division.
So,
-4, 4, 5, 6.
Don't we put a space before 4, 5, 6? I put space there. Whatever.
Space before, space after, whatever helps you determine that your -4 is sitting out there doing the work, right? Now, give yourself a space and put your coefficients of your dividend. So we're going to need a 1, a space. What are we going to need next? A 2, space. What are we going to next? -5. And what are we going to need next? 12. All right. Now go down and over and enter, right? So you got 2 spaces in between, 2 lines in between, and then do a bunch of 3 6s all the way across in Braille, or draw a line and print. Just till you get to your coefficient. You don't got to go all the way to the end of the
oh,
paper.
now I need to go to the end of the paper.
All right, well, whatever. Works.
It irks me.
All right. Okay. Now, new line, enter down and over, and space over till you get underneath your 1, and the first coefficient, and pull down the 1. So write Braille the 1 directly underneath, below the line, below the 1, because that's our starter. Okay? First part, yeah. So we're like, yay, okay, now we get to go to work. We get to use this cool synthetic division process. -4 times 1 is Negative 4. So you're going to scroll back up, turn back up on your brailler, move up, space over, underneath your 2, and put a negative 4. Under the 2. Yep.
Going in left to right order.
All right. Now combine that second coefficient, number 2, and the negative 4, and what do you end up with? Negative 2. Put that below the line, below your negative 4. The 2, negative 4, and then you combine them and you put negative 2 underneath that. What's that?
Oh, I was just telling you that to be called.
Like a column, yeah. Think about your matrix columns. Yep. Below the line, right? Now you multiply your R value, negative 4 times negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. So you got to put negative 4 underneath the 2. And then the 2 plus negative 4 is negative 2, so you put that below the line. You're combining those two. Okay? All right. Now you go back to your R value, negative 4 up on the left, top left, times negative 2, what you just derived. What is positive 8. So you're going to scroll up and space over and put an 8 underneath your third term, your negative 5. All right? And then you're going to combine negative 5 and 8. 3. You're going to scroll down and backspace and put a 3 underneath your 8. All right. Now we're going to do negative 4 times the 3, and what do we get?
Negative
12 or negative 12.
We like that, don't we? So we're going to scroll back up and space over and put a negative 12 underneath our 12. Hey, cool. And we got 0. That's that remainder 0, isn't it? We like that. All right. Now, yes, we write our answer. We're not done. So we know that this was end of the third. So what is our first term of our answer going to be? End of the second, right? One end of the second, or just end of the second, minus, right? Notice we have a negative 2 minus 2 what? N to the just n, right? Just n, just 2n, right? And then plus 3. Done. That is your answer. If we multiplied n plus 4 times n squared minus 2n plus 3, we're going to get back to end of the third plus 2n squared minus 5n plus 12. I'm not making you do that in this moment, but I might later. It's good practice. Right? Yep. All right. What do you think so far? Should we do another one? Do another one? All right.
It's just hard to do it when
It's hard to what? You messed up the order?
It's hard to do it in your own still.
Yeah. Yep.
I didn't see that. Okay, so
All right.
from right, you put the 1 underneath the 1. On the 2, I put the negative 4 underneath 2. And under the negative 5, I put negative 2.
No.
That's why.
Because you got to multiply it. So let's do the next one, and then notice what you're doing each time, not just writing down what I'm saying, right?
Okay.
All right, so look at 25. X to the 4th. X to the 4th. Ooh, this is going to give us a remainder. I don't know if I want a remainder yet. We haven't talked about that, have we? We can. We can do it. We just put it over what we got. All right, x to the 4th minus 3x to the 3rd plus x to the 2nd minus 5. That whole quantity, so that was an open print, close print, is divided by x plus 2. Okay? Again, you just read it very carefully. X to the 4th minus 3x to the 3rd plus x to the 2nd minus 5, all divided by x plus 2.
That would go the opposite.
Right. So now you Read it and identify your terms. You've got a 1, -3, a 1, -5. We're identifying the coefficients of our terms.
Yeah, there's no X. Huh?
Oh, we have to put an X in there, don't we? This was really tricky. All right, so this is where the descending order really pays off to think about this, because when you have descending order, you need to have a space for everything. So if we rewrote this, everybody rewrite your polynomial. Ready? X to the 4th.
Oops. Oh.
Bring it on down, minus 3x to the 3rd plus x to, bring it on down, plus x to the 2nd. And notice there's not an x, so we need to say plus 0x.
I see what she's doing.
From your original polynomial descending order, we have a 4, a 3, a 2. We don't have a 1. So we have to create a 1. You have to say 0x.
Yeah, so we're basically making
minus 5.
we're putting something there that's not
Right. So that we can do this synthetic division with all of our little columns having something in them.
It's just
Right?
it's like an illusion.
Yeah. Okay? So that descending order is really important. You got to make sure you have something for everyone. If it starts at x to the 6th, you've got to have something in the x to the 5th position, x to the 4th position, x to the 3rd position, x to the 2nd position, the x position, and then a constant. All right? And anywhere you don't have that, you have to put in a 0 for it. All right? Okay, good. All right, so then you notice your coefficients are a 1, right? What's the next one? -3. What's the next one? A 1. Nope. A 0. And then you have a -5. Super important that you have a column for that first degree term there.
And so we put
All right.
0.
All right, then you notice your R value is what, Angelica?
-2.
-2. The R value is -2 on your divisor, right? Your x plus 2 is -2. All right, now we get started. This is gonna be nice and pretty.
Gross.
No, it's gonna be pretty. We're gonna be all right. We're gonna get a remainder too, and we'll talk about that. All right. So we're gonna put a -2 to get us started, aren't we? And a 4, 5, 6, or an upside down division. All right. And then what are we going to, we're going to do a space, and then what are we going to put? 1, good, and a space, and no, -3, good, and a space, and 1, good, and a space, and 0, good, and a space, and -5, good. Now, down and over and enter again, right? Because you want a bunch of 3 6s going all the way across. So you get just past that -5. Print users, you're just drawing a line.
Okay, got it.
Got it? Okay. All right, down and over. Now space over, down and over underneath your line, space over and get underneath the 1 and pull down the 1. Yep. You always pull down the first term all the way below underneath the line. You pull it down. That's where we we need that because we got to get started. We got to be able to multiply our R times something, right?
Got it.
You doing all right, Danner?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just sitting here.
Okay. So -2. Now you do the -2, the R value up in the corner, left corner. -2 times the 1 that you pulled down. What's that? -2. Now roll your bar back up above your line and space over under your -3 and put that -2. That product.
Super magical power stuff.
Yeah, super magical power. All right. Now combine -3 and -2. No.
Oh, positive.
Combine would be.
Combine could be any number of things.
Combine means to do what?
It's adding.
Add.
But
Always.
So it's -5.
-5. So combine -3 and -2, add or find the sum of -3 and -2, and write that below the line, below the -2. What is it? -5. All right. Now, multiply your R value, -2, times your -5. What do you get? Positive 10. Be very careful with your...
Combine again, though.
I said multiply your R value times your -5. -2 times -5. 10. Put your... Now, space over and scroll up and put your 10 underneath your 1. Combine or add, find the sum of 1 and 10. 11. Good. Put an 11 below the line, below 1 and 10. Song's nodding. He's on it. All right. Now multiply -2 times the 11. -22. Space over, scroll up, and put -22 under the 0. The next column over, right? You're just moving one over and scrolling up and putting it under there. Now what is 0 and -22? -22, right? -22 below the line. Now, what is -2 times -22? Positive 44. So scroll up and space over and put 44 underneath the -5. Last one. Add -5 and 44. What does that combine to? 39. Positive 39, right? A 39 underneath the 44. And that's going to be our remainder. We're going to talk about that here in a second. Phew! We're done, right? We got all our columns. So you should have below your line, you should have a 1, -5, 11, -22, and a 39.
That always sound like bingo.
Yeah. Now, because we go back to our book and look at our original polynomial, or what we wrote down at the start of this, we wrote down what? X to the 4th, right? So where are we going to start with? X to the 3rd. So your first term is x to the 3rd, and your coefficient is a 1, so it's just x to the 3rd. Next term is -5 what? X squared, x to the 2nd, plus 11 what? X. See how important that was that we had a 0x, huh? And then minus 22. And then we have, now we have a remainder, don't we?
So we divide by 2.
No, yeah, well, hold on, you're close. We're going to have plus, follow along with me, just write a plus after the minus 22, plus simple fraction open, 39 over our divisor, x plus 2, simple fraction close. Oh, because that's our remainder, right? Like a mixed number.
Yeah.
If we divided 4, if we had 5/4, that would be a 1, remainder 1 over 4, right? So we do the remainder over what we're dividing by. So we do our remainder 39 over what we're dividing by. So the final answer is x to the 3rd minus 5x squared plus 11x minus 22 plus 39 all over x plus 2. Holy freaking mackerel. Craziness, huh? Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. So now you're going to do one by yourself. I'm going to read it to you. and then you're going to give it a go here with the process, and myself and SS will spot you. All right, number 29. 29. They've set 29 up as a fraction, but it still could be written with the division symbol if you wanted to. 29 says y to the third plus 3y squared minus 5y minus 4. And that's all divided by, all over, y plus 4. Right? Again, read it carefully. Y to the third plus 3y squared minus 5y minus 4 divided by the quantity of y plus 4. Number 29. Look at it. Look at yourself.
Comes out kind of fun.
Does it? Didn't even look ahead at the answers. Oh, cool. Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
All right. Be very careful. Notice everything you need to know and just start with the process.
JJ? Or JJ?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah, write it out. See what happens.
I
You're a weird dog. You're a weird dog. It's not?
Oh, no. No, it is.
Okay.
Okay, it must have been different.
Oh. Well, you talk aloud. You assume you're talking loud.
I'll shut up.
I got it.
Mhm.
This is a weird answer.
Yeah, that's right.
My brain. Ow.
You could check it.
You could check.
Go back and times it by y plus 4.
What is that last time supposed to be?
How you doing, Song? Did you get it?
Not across.
Okay.
Working it? Yep.
Good.
It's a pretty cool answer, isn't it?
I was trying to figure out how to
Yep.
sit out getting out.
I know. I understand.
Song,
It looks like what you said.
Song and Tanner, if you want to move forward, why don't you give number 31 a try? Notice something really carefully about 31.
So, JJ, I set this up to where I thought so.
So what did you set up?
There was a number supposed to be
The
going
working
over
number is -4.
Yep.
And 1, 3, -5.
Good.
Right. You put it.
Good.
It said.
Did you sell this for matrix?
Right.
Sorta. You gotta do the synthetic division process. So you scroll down a couple lines and make a long bar, right? Okay. And pull the 1 down. Okay. Now you take your R and times it by the 1 you pulled down. What do you get? -4. Put that underneath the 3. Now what do you get?
That's the R term.
So -4 times.
No. Or what did you get after you combined 3 and -4?
1.
No.
No,
Right.
-1. Write a -1 under the -4. Okay. Now multiply -4 times -1.
4.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go now.
All right. Keep working on these. Work on number 29 and 31 at least. Get some extra practice, okay?
So you
Okay.
I'll do more tomorrow.
Okay.
So you had -4 under the 3, right? And you write down a -1 under the -4, right?
You're adding.
Because you're adding the 3 and the -4. That line that you made means that you're adding the column.
-1 and
No. Only the things in the dividend.
Okay.
Oh,
And
okay.
then
JJ, I don't think I did
So
right.
that once you figure out what R is.
31.
then you supposed to pull that 16. Ignore it. Oh.
You have a remainder. Do you have a remainder?
Till the end. I think you have a remainder. But I'll say you shouldn't have a remainder.
Okay. Let's see. What did you set up as your coefficients? Did you set up 1? Did you set up 1, -5, 13, 0, and 10.
Ah.
Notice on 31 that there's no a value, a to the first power. You've got to put that in there. That's the trick on number 31.
Yeah, so, no, I
Did
did
you
not
notice
catch
that song on 31? That the a value, there's no a value, it's no a to the first power. You didn't notice that? Yeah, got to be careful with those. So Baker, you should be at, you pulled down a -1 below your 3 and -4, right? And then you go -4 times -1 is a 4, right? Yes. And what is -5 plus 4?
No, it's not a negative one, is it?
What's -5 plus 4? -1. So you put a -1 underneath the 4. Now multiply your R value. Your -4 times your -1.
Right.
Positive 4. Put your positive 4 underneath the next column, -4, right? And what is -4 and 4?
Combined or times?
Always combined. You always add that row to the row. 0. The 0 underneath. So that means remainder 0. That's a good thing, right? Now you have your coefficients of your answer. You have a 1, a -1, and a -1. And they're using y's. And the original problem started with y to the what? What degree? Y to the third. So you're going to start with y to the... No, you're going to start with y to the second. Because you divided out, you factored out one of the y's. So your first term is y to the second. Minus y. Minus 1.
Not the numbers above the line.
No, minus 1. What is your answer? Down below your line, you have a 1, -1, -1, right? That's your answer. You concentrate on that. Below the line, that's your marker. That's your answer. 1, -1, -1. So the 1 goes with y to the squared. So instead of saying 1y squared, we just say y squared. -1 goes to the y. Instead of saying, we just say minus y. -1 is the constant. We just say minus 1. So your answer is y squared minus y minus 1.
Whenever you
What's
got
that?
below the line, you start over again.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. How'd you do on that last one, Tanner?
I did. I saw what I did.
So you put in a 0, and then you should have a remainder.
Yeah.
Okay. No, it's going to be a remainder of 3. All right. What?
Between the lines.
Now I'll slowly launch.
Bell hasn't rang yet.
Can you ring the JJ bell?
So in 31, I'm going to do this with song, or 4 songs. So we got a to the 4th song minus 5a to the 3rd minus 13a squared. I notice there's no a, so I'm going to put a plus a 0a and then plus a 10. And we're going to divide that all by a plus 1. So I notice my r value is a -1. So we're going to do a -1 on the outside. And our terms are going to be 1, -5, -13, 0, and 10. And we're going to space down a couple spaces and draw a line. We're going to pull down that first term, which is a 1, and that's going to get us started. So we have -1 times 1 is going to be -1 that we put underneath the -5. We combine the -5 and the -1 to get a -6. So we put that underneath the line, underneath that column. We do -1, our R value, times -6, and we get a +6 that we're going to put underneath the -13. We're going to combine the -13 and the 6 and get a -7. So we're going to put that underneath that column, underneath our line. Then we're going to multiply that times our R value. So -1 times -7 is a +8. We're going to put that in the next column under the 0. And 0 plus 8 is 8. And then -1 times 8 is -8. So we put a -8 under the 10, and 10 and -8 is a +2. So we're going to have a remainder. No big deal. So we're going to go back and use our coefficients of our answers. with our terms. So we started with an a to the fourth degree, so we're going to start with a to the third degree, and it's a 1 coefficient, so we don't need anything next to that. Then we have minus 6a to the second minus 7a plus 8
Miss JJ,
plus 2 over a plus 1. Yes, Song?
you missed it.
I missed what?
I don't think that 8's supposed to exist.
Oh, it's a 7. Good catch. Somehow I did a combination of adding and multiplying, didn't I? There we go. And then we have a negative 7, and we're going to have a remainder of 3. Good catch, Song. Good catch. Nice. Okay. So negative, so we have a to the third minus 6a squared minus 7a plus 7 plus 3 over our a plus 1 because there was a remainder. Got it.
JJ's voting.
Sweet. Nice catch, Song. Did you get that answer? Or you followed along with me?
Writing it down right now.
Yeah. Okay.
JJ's voting.
All right. All right, tomorrow we shall warm up with one of these, and then we're going to work on synthetic division with the same, but when our coefficient of our term, our first term of our divisor, is more than 1. It's not 1. What do we do about that? It's not that hard. You just have to remember one more step. It was back on the table next to my math first row of math books, second period, because it belongs to one of the students in that class.
Oh, I missed enough at all. I won't lie.
Okay, thank you. All right, I'm stopping the recording. You all have a good day.